Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss another important topic, that is equations of motion by graphical method. Actually, there are two methods, analytical method and graphical method. But analytical method is not in our syllabus. Graphical method is very important, and you always get question in examinations based on this method. And we will also derive the equations using graph. And these equations are very useful in class 9 to solve the numericals until in the 11 and in competitive exams also. So let us start. As you know, when an object moves with uniform velocity, isn't it? Suppose the object is in uniform motion, it is moving in a straight line, then we can relate its velocity, acceleration, distance traveled by the object in a particular time interval by set of equations. So these equations are known as equations of motions. So write about it. Write when an object, write down, when an object moves along a straight line, with uniform acceleration, we can relate its velocity, acceleration, and the distance traveled by it in a certain time interval by set of equations. These equations are known as equations of motions. Now the equations are first, V is equal to U plus AT. Second equation is S is equal to UT plus half AT square. And third equation is V square minus U square is equal to 2AS. Now you know the meaning of these symbols, that U represents initial velocity, V is the final velocity, A is acceleration, T is the time interval or time, and S is the distance traveled. So these symbols have these meanings. Now to derive this equation, we have to draw a velocity time graph. So let us draw a velocity time graph. So always we take time on x-axis. So we have taken time on x-axis. On y-axis we have taken velocity. And we assume that the object is moving with some initial velocity. its initial velocity is not zero and acceleration is uniform. So graph will be like this, a straight line graph, but it start from zero mark, isn't it? Now drop perpendicular on x-axis and also y-axis like this. Mark these points, let AB, C, D. At point A, let initial velocity is at point A, let initial velocity is u, and when it reaches to point B, its final velocity becomes v, and this is the time interval t, isn't it? So first you have to describe the graph whenever you derive the equations. So first of all we will derive this equation, v is equal to u plus at. So first describe the graph and write few lines. Write considering velocity time graph, considering velocity time graph of an object that moves under uniform acceleration, as shown in figure, From graph, then write from graph give a comma, write object has initial velocity u, at point A, and then it increases to v, at point B, in time interval t, small t, in time interval t. Let the velocity changes at a uniform rate a. It means we are assuming that acceleration is uniform and that acceleration is a. Now from graph we can write that from graph we can write OA is equal to CD is equal to U, and BC represents V. Now OC is equal to AD is equal to T, isn't it? Now BC can be written as BD plus CD, BD plus DC or CD. Now this CD or DC is equal to OA, so we can write it as BD plus OA. Now DC represents V, BD, right, BD, the value of BD is not known to us, and OA is how much? U. So BD can be written as V minus U. It means this BD represent change in velocity. The initial velocity is U here, and after a time interval it becomes V. So BD represents V minus U. Now earlier we have discussed the definition of acceleration, and according to that definition, acceleration is equal to change in velocity by time. So change in velocity, so what BD represents? BD represents change in velocity. So we can write BD, and for time taken, so how much time it takes to change its velocity from U to V. So it takes OC. OC is the time interval. So it can be written as V minus U by T, or after cross multiplication you can write AT is equal to V minus U, or we can write, if V is this side and transposing U that side, so V is equal to U plus AT. So in this way we have derived the first equation of motion. So whenever you have to derive equations of motion, first you have to draw a velocity time graph, and I have given a short explanation about the graph that you have to write, and then you will derive in this way, isn't it? Okay students, we have derived the first equation, that is velocity time relation, and here I have written BD by OC and BD by T, and this is acceleration A. So we can also write BD is equal to AT, and up to this much you have to, this much is common for all the equations. Actually we have three equations. This is velocity time relation, then we will derive position time relation, and then position velocity relation. So in all the equations this much is common. It means you have to draw the graph, you have to describe the graph in short, and you will derive up to this point BD is equal to AT, and then according to equation you have to choose the methods. Now we will derive the second equation. The second equation is position time. As you know, that is S is equal to UT plus half AT square. Second equation is S is equal to UT plus half AT square. So position time relation. Position time relation. Now for position time relation, as I have said that this much is common, and it means you have to draw the graph, you have to describe it in short, and BD is equal to AT. Now how we can calculate distance or magnitude of displacement from velocity time graph? Just recall it. In uses I have discussed that area under velocity time graph gives magnitude of displacement. So in this graph you have to calculate the area of figure OABC. So write few lines. Right. First we are deriving S is equal to UT plus half AT square position time relation. Right. Let us consider, write down, let us consider that the object has traveled a distance S that the object has traveled a distance s in time t under uniform acceleration a. Under uniform acceleration a. The distance traveled by the object, can be obtained by calculating the area OABC, So this time we are writing S is equal to area OABC. Isn't it? Now OABC, this figure can be divided into two parts, that OADC is a rectangle and ABD is a triangle. So we can write it is equal to area of rectangle OADC plus area of triangle ABD, like this. So as you know, area of rectangle is length into breadth. It will be simply OA into OC. OA is the breadth and OC you can consider it as the length. So OA into OC plus, you also know the formula how to calculate area of a triangle. It will be half base into height. So half base is AD and height is BD. Now from graph earlier we have written OA is how much? OA is U, OC is the time interval T plus half, AD is again time interval, so it will be T, and in previous equation we have derived that BD is equal to AD. In first equation we have derived BD is equal to AD, so we are substituting that value of BD. So you can get UT plus half ET square. So we have derived the second equation. Now we will derive the third equation. Third equation is position velocity relation. So that is 2as is equal to v square minus u square. This is position velocity relation. So in this again you write a line, write a sentence. From velocity time graph, we can calculate the distance s. Traveled by the object in time t under uniform acceleration a. So here we are writing S is equal to area of trapezium OABC. OABC is a trapezium also. OA and BC are the parallel sides, and AD or OC you can say the perpendicular distance between them. So how we can calculate the area of trapezium? Half sum of parallel sides into perpendicular distance or we can sometimes write height between the two parallel sides, perpendicular distance between them. So here the parallel sides are OA and BC, and perpendicular distance you can write AD, or you can also write OC, isn't it? So it will be half. OA is how much? U. BC is how much? V into AD. AD is T. Now we can use a trick here. We know that A is equal to V minus U by T. I think you all are familiar with this formula, that acceleration is equal to change in velocity by time. We have derived earlier. So from this equation we can write T is equal to V minus U by A, isn't it? Now substitute this value of T here. So this can be written as, we can write U plus V or V plus U, same thing. So in place of T we are writing V minus U by A. Now in numerator we have V plus U and V minus U. It means A plus B and A minus B. So this can be written as V square minus U square. So V square minus U square, and in denominator we have 2A. After cross multiplication we will get 2AS is equal to V square minus U square. So we have derived all three equations, which are very important, and we have lot of numericals based on these equations of motions. But before solving numericals, I will give you some important tips how to solve the numericals, and you must practice how to derive these equations, because the very important topic, and surely you will get one question. Out of these three, you will get a question to derive any one equation. So very important topic. Now, to solve the numerical problems based on equations of motion, you write some of the important points. First, when an object start moving from rest, when an object start moving from rest, its initial velocity is 0. Its initial velocity is 0. Then you write, when an object is dropped from certain height, when an object is dropped from certain height, its initial velocity is 0. Next you write, whenever an object is thrown upwards, or retarding its final velocity is zero. Retarding means, suppose a vehicle is moving and when brakes are applied, so obviously when brakes are applied its velocity gradually decreases, and in such cases we say that its final velocity is zero. So whenever an object is thrown upwards or retarding, its final velocity becomes zero. Retardation means negative acceleration. Then you write time of ascent and time of descent are equal. Time of ascent is equal to time of descent. What is the meaning of it? It means, suppose you throw a ball in upward direction and it attains the height of 10 meters in 2 seconds, then it will take same time 2 seconds to fall down. So these two times are always equal. Another thing, that whenever an object is thrown upwards, g is negative. Acceleration due to gravity is negative when it is thrown upwards, and when object is coming down, then g is always positive. So these are the important points that you have to keep in mind. Always read the numerical problems carefully 2-3 times. Write down the given things with their symbols only. It means U, V, S, A, T, whatever given, and what you have to find out, put a question mark against it. And then must go through these points which I have given today, the important tips to solve the numerical problems. And then you are able to solve it. Okay, we will practice it in the next class. We will solve numericals few days, because very important one this one. And till then you must go through it, whatever I have discussed today, and try to derive this formula with your own effort. This is the homework, and must submit your homework on Friday 7 PM. Okay.